Guys, this is Bertha. She's in a big shed. What does that mean, Erin?
Reno time.
Yes, that's right. We're doing another renovation on Bertha, but that's not what this week's video is about. That's going to start next week, so stay tuned for that. This week is about this little guy here. So that little guy is the port for our Starlink 12-volt conversion from Cowfish Technologies. We installed that how long ago?
Christmas time.
5 odd months ago. And we've waited this long to put this video out because we didn't want to just install it and say, hey, how good is this? Yeah. We wanted to get out there and test it. We can tell you we love it, but we're going to jump back to that 5 months ago. I'm going to have long hair again, and I'm going to show you the full install of that.
So as part of this video, guys, we're also going to be giving one of these away with the help of Cowfish to one lucky winner.
Yes, so stay tuned. Somewhere through the video, we're going to drop a code word. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and follow Cowfish Technologies on Instagram to be in the running. Hey, g'day everyone and welcome back. Today you're going to join me in installing a new product in the caravan. This one by Cowfish Technologies. I've been super excited about this one. They told us about it a while ago and I went, you know what, that sounds awesome. That's going to be a bit of a game changer for us and other people out there. And it's got to do with this here. No stranger anymore, this thing, Starlink. You go to any caravan park and you see about 500 of them sitting around the place. Every second person traveling around in a caravan or a camper has this, and for good reason, because it is just the best internet. Now, Starlink has its flaws. This is the main one. 240 power for them. Everyone with their 12-volt setups in their caravan knows that you got to run an inverter to run 240 unless you're plugged into 240 in a caravan park. But if you're like us and you like to get off-grid quite a bit, that means you're running your inverter quite a lot and using a lot more power than you would really like to be using just to run the internet the whole time. The other thing is the setup. You got the super long cable, the big bulky dish, and then the router, and they all need a place while you travel, and then they all need a place when you set them up. So the guys at Cowfish, they've come up with this, the Starlink integration kit. So essentially this is a 12-volt conversion kit, and the best part about it is you no longer need this. It eliminates your router. So before I get into it though, you do actually need to already have the Cowfish Van Connect system. We already have that set up in the van. We love it for when we're not using this stuff, when we've got good telephone reception. So it does require to use that router, and that's what eliminates the Starlink router. I'll just jump back in for a moment. So since we did this install video, Cowfish have actually released a Van Connect Zero, which means you don't have to have the Van Connect 5G to run the Starlink integration system in your van. But basically, there's two kits that they do. We've got option A, which is a weatherproof connection on the outside of your van, and then you actually have to cut and change your Starlink dishy cable. Now, I don't mind doing that. They've got good instructions on how to do it, so I'm going to give it a crack. Part of that is also turning your end bit that you cut off, this original Starlink fitting, into a patch lead so that you can still use it as a standard Starlink setup with your original router. They do have another option, which is the option B, where you keep this fitting, but it's not a weatherproof external plug-in for your caravan. All right, so we're going to install this kit now. We're going to open this all up first, have a look at what we got. That is your new device there. So that is what your new external connection will then run inside and plug into this, and then this will then run and plug into your Van Connect router. So you've got your two fittings there, Ethernet cable fittings, and that's what your two cables are going to go into. Also needs 12-volt source because it actually has to power dishy. And then in our other box, we've got all our cables and fittings. So our external wall fitting, our weatherproof fitting for the end of the dishy cable, and our two cables, a short one to run from your new power box to your router, and then from the power box to the wall fitting. All right, so to do this job, you're going to need a couple of tools with you. Soldering iron, wire strippers, a wire sheath remover, Stanley knife will do fine, some side cutters or scissors, a Ethernet crimper, which is probably the most specific that you'll have to go out and buy. Most people wouldn't have that, and I didn't, so I went and bought that one from Bunnings. 24mm hole saw. And then I've just got this box that's got all different fittings for the electrical side, terminals and stuff like that. So to start off, first job's going to be cutting this Starlink dishy cable and putting our new connection on it. Now we want to make a patch lead out of the original fitting. So we're going to take a fair bit, so maybe 800mm. This is the part of no turning back. I'm going to cut that there. Then we grab our weatherproof fitting. You want to undo the end. You want to keep this all facing the right way, the way it comes out. Got to pull this end bit out. Might need a bit of persuading. There we go. Okay. So slide your screw-in cap. Push over the weatherproof socket part. And set this end aside. Okay, we're then going to come back about 25 to 30mm. And strip off our sheath. Then got your blue foil. Pull all that back. Cut it off. That's your earth wire. You want to pull that to the side. Don't cut it. Just keep that aside for now. And then you got a clear plastic cover. Cut that off. All right, then you're left with that. So 8 different wires, and they're twisted like so. So you want to go through and untwist them all. Just doing this to straighten all the wires out after they've been twisted for so long. Just like you're doing a ribbon, curling a ribbon. And now we're going to get these in the correct order for the fitting that we're using. Now this is the connector we're going to put on the end of this cable. It is a RJ45 and it is the T-568B layout. So they have different layouts of the wires. That's the specific one we want to use. You don't want to wire it incorrectly because it'll put power to the wrong pin and it could destroy your dishy. So be very careful. All right, so this is the tricky part now. We're going to do this in the correct order and you got to hold them nice and firmly so that they don't jump out of order as you're doing it. So it's going to go white, orange, orange, white, green, blue, white, blue, green, white, brown, brown. Now it looks like it'll be tricky, but it's not that hard. So you end up with that. Now we're going to cut these shorter so that the connector fits over them. You want it to be about 13mm, but if you just hold up your connector next to it, you get an idea. They're going to go all the way to the end, and then you want this side to cover your sheath. So we'll cut it about there. Nice, neat, straight cut. And then you want to double check your wire order just to double check, make sure you got it right. All right, now we know we're all good with our order. we're going to slide over our connector. So the RJ45 connector is clear, so you can see through to make sure you got the right wire order. If you have made a mistake or you've cut them too long or too short, you can just come back on your cable, cut again because the Starlink cable is so long, and then just restart it. Now that we know that's all good, we're going to grab our crimpers and crimp that. And then last up with this fitting, you're going to grab that grounding wire. We're going to pull it over to the top here, and we're going to solder it to the connector down the bottom there. So they say be careful not to put too much heat into it while you're soldering it, because you can start to melt the smaller wires inside. But once that's soldered on like so, trim off your excess. And we're ready to put our weatherproof fitting together. Now this fitting has a groove, so it's got to line up with the groove in the casing. And then screw your cap on once you got that sorted. There we go. Your weatherproof dishy connection. So I've never done those RJ45 fittings before with these crimpers or anything like that. So I'm a beginner as well, a novice, and it was not too hard. Follow their instructions. Cowfish, got a little video online where he shows you exactly how to do that, and it makes life a lot easier. But it should look like that from the end. So this next bit of connecting the power box, I'm not going to be able to show you real up close installing it because our Van Connect is up in a tight little cupboard above our bed, and there's just no way I'm getting a camera in there and making it look good enough. So I'll show you on the outside first. So this is the box that they supply. You've got an on-off switch, so when you don't want Starlink, you can just switch it off. But basically, you've got two cables, a short one, and then we've got our longer cable. There is an optional 6-meter cable, so that if you're running this or running your external point quite a fair distance from this box, you can run it as long as you need. But basically, from this top one that says Van Connect, plug in your short one, plug that into your Van Connect, which is your router, and you got your longer cable, plug that into your Starlink, and then that runs to your external wall fitting, and then from your external wall fitting is your weatherproof plug. So after you've done all that and your system is up and running, just take your old bit of cable that you cut off. They supply you with some extra RJ45 connectors. Crimp that onto the end of this, and then they give you this little patch lead connector, and then that will plug into that, and then plug into your fitting that you've made on the end of dishy. That way, if you want to use your original router, you can go ahead, all fits back together and works normally. All right, this next step is the simple part. Literally going to put on just the weatherproof fitting. That's what it looks like. It's got a weatherproof seal on the back. You can either leave that and just screw it in on its own. You can take that off and fully silicone it, or you can leave that on and chuck some silicone around it as well. That's what I'm going to do. So 24mm hole saw. Figure out where it's going to go through the wall and hope that there's no wires there. Beautiful. And just to make things easier, I'm going to put the cable in first and then feed it through, so then it's already sitting in the cupboard. Don't forget on your bottom screw, put your cap on like I just did. Alright, so this is what setting up our Starlink looks like now. Literally just get the dish out, banging on the ground. Now, I did install that a little bit high. So we're on a bit of a sloping side and it's a bit of a reach for me, but anyway. Oh. That's it. That'll boot up now. Oh, you got to switch the power on inside, but that'll do its thing. Starlink connected. No more Starlink router. So much simpler.
So guys, it's been 5 months since we've installed the integration kit and we love it.
Mainly the simplicity of just literally plugging it in and off it goes.
Yeah, it's a lot
because
easier.
everyone who has Starlink knows that router, where do you put it?
It's a bit awkward.
It is, yeah. But yeah, look, it's not for everyone, but...
It's definitely, I mean, it's not something you definitely 100% need.
Not at all.
But it does make life a hell of a lot more convenient.
It's something we wanted, and
Yeah.
I'd always said from the moment Starlink came out, it'd be awesome if there was a 12-volt version,
Yes.
and this is it.
Yeah. So guys, if that does sound like something you'd be interested in, head on over to the Cowfish website and grab yourself one.
Yep, we'll chuck a link in below to that website.
Yep, as well as our discount code.
Yes, save yourself some dollars, and make sure you enter that competition, drop your comment below, but most importantly, make sure you stay tuned. Next week, the renos, they start again.
/fix-ups.
Yes, it's more of a fix-up, but anyway, stay tuned.